Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. For today's video, I've got two stories for you guys and both of them have updates, so let's get started with the first one. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user ParkingMission7544. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my ex-husband's wife at my daughter's birthday party because she told me not to? I, 32 female, have a daughter, 9 going on 10 female, with my ex-husband, 36 male. We divorced when she was 3. He then remarried with one of his co-workers, let's call her Melinda. They also have a son together, 6 male. My daughter's birthday is in 9 days. I reviewed things with my daughter for her birthday, like the theme and the cake. Here's the issue. When we were going through the guest list, she looked anxious. When I asked what was wrong, she told me that she did not want to invite Melinda. I asked her why, and she explained to me that Melinda would make weird comments sometimes around other parents or to her. For example, when Melinda would pick her up from dance lesson, she would hear her say things like, "That is why I prefer boys. Girls only like pink and tutus." She calls her a brat and other things. She also told me that every time her brother, Melinda and my ex-husband's kid, would do something to annoy her, like breaking her toys, calling her names, or starting a fight, Melinda would always defend her son and punish my daughter every time and say, "Boys will be boys," or some crap like that. I asked about her dad, and she said that Melinda does stuff like this when her dad is around, but he is always in his office, so it's like a free pass. Anyway, later on, I called my ex-husband and he asked for the date of the party. Her real birthday is a school day. I told him that his wife was not invited, and I think I was on loudspeaker because I heard Melinda screaming at me saying that I destroyed her family. So, am I the a-hole for not inviting my ex-husband's wife to my daughter's birthday party because she told me not to? No, Opie, in my opinion, you are not the a-hole for defending your daughter from that bully. It doesn't matter who she's married to, if she's a stepmom or whoever she is in this child's life. She doesn't get to treat the kid like that, and it's good that you're defending her. Also, what is up with your ex-husband? The fact that he doesn't know what's going on in his own house with his daughter is concerning. Unless Melinda has a grip so tight that he does know what she's doing to his daughter and he's too much of a chicken crap to do anything about it. I think you need to have a serious conversation with him to ask him if he does want to keep a relationship with his daughter, because if he does, then he'd better step up, or else your daughter's just not gonna want to go to that house anymore and eventually he will not have a relationship with her and Melinda will have won. She would have effectively driven his daughter out of his life. So again, OP, no, not the a-hole, and I think this whole thing is a lot bigger than just her birthday party. Melinda is not good news in your child's life. Good for you for defending her. And what is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. John Smith 1012 says, "Not the a-hole. You should talk to her personally because your ex-husband seems to not pay attention to your daughter's feelings about the situation. And if so, you should explain the problem to him first. He has to be the one to handle the problem first. That's crap, and your daughter should be allowed to not be comfortable in this situation. Indeed, this is her birthday. And if she feels uncomfortable with her stepmother around, then tell her so. It may be difficult for you to handle the drama because Melinda could say this is your fault, but you know the truth. You're not looking for her approval, so stand for your daughter and protect her and her feelings. You're the mama." Realistic Head 4279 says, "Not the a-hole. Phew, this brought up some very old memories of my stepmother. She and my father only had boys, and she often told me how she wanted to have a girl to replace me and other barbed comments. She also insisted on making me wear boys' clothes when I visited. That was not fashionable in my day, saying girls' clothes were too expensive. Anyway, children can be hurt by snide remarks, especially when they are in an environment that they may not feel totally comfortable in. You need to protect your child as best as you can and, if possible, work with your ex-husband to correct some of the behaviors that are adversely affecting your daughter when she is in your ex's home. I'd worry that her stepmother will maybe be more hostile towards her after this. It's understandable that she doesn't want to invite her to her birthday, and I would not force that." Melinda needs to do better by your daughter if she wants to have a good relationship with her. She needs to make her feel welcome and safe at their home. She definitely does not need to be making derogatory remarks within earshot of your daughter. It does sound like she resents her, and this needs to stop, or your daughter will eventually not want to spend time at her father's. And MTLife09 says, I'm assuming based on parts of your post that your ex has shared custody and your daughter spends a good amount of time living with him and Melinda. And if they have a 6-year-old, then Melinda has been the stepmom for most of your daughter's life and will continue to be the stepmom long past this birthday party. This is an issue that needs to be discussed between you and your ex as calmly and amicably as possible so that he sees the need to advocate for his daughter and doesn't immediately get defensive. This has zero to do with the birthday party, and by announcing she's not invited, you just started a war, and now everyone will be angry and the situation is much less likely to be fixed. OP's edit. Okay, just for precision, my daughter's half-sibling is 4 years younger than her. She was born in April while he was born in March, the year after I divorced my ex. The boy just turned 6. However, it is true that we divorced because my ex-husband told me he was in love with Melinda and wanted to confess. We now have a 50-50 custody. He has a busy job. My daughter explained to me she never told me or her dad about what Melinda says or does because she was scared of ruining her father's marriage because he seemed happy. Okay, so the community says that OP is not the a-hole and that this whole issue is way bigger than just the daughter's birthday. Melinda is not a good stepmom and OP needs to talk to her ex-husband so this gets resolved. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that last part in the edit about the daughter not saying anything to anyone because the father was happy, I'm guessing that's influenced by Melinda, but that's just my speculation. Let me know what you guys think. Anyways, of course we've got the update, so let's move on with that to see how this story ends. So a lot happened. First, I met my ex-husband for lunch alone. I explained everything that my daughter told me to him. At first he was defensive and told me that she was overreacting. I replied that even if that were true, his relationship with his daughter was at risk. I gave him a choice, fix the problem or go back to court and I go for more custody. Then on Friday, when I came to pick my daughter up at his house, I talked to her in private. And she told me that her dad spent time with her, picking her up from school and activities, helping with her homework and playing with her. Then Melinda told me that she accepted not going to the party but still wanted to see my daughter blow out her candles on her actual birthday. She baked a cake and asked her, my daughter, if she was okay doing that before leaving. She seemed okay with it, so we gathered around the cake. My daughter, Melinda, my ex, and her half-brother. When my daughter blew out the candles, M. Jr., Melindo, decided that the good thing to do would be to smash my daughter's face into the cake. I have to say that if this were not a kid, I would be in prison. He and Melinda burst out laughing while my daughter was crying. To be honest, I don't entirely blame the kid. He probably picked up that attitude from his mom. Melinda then told my daughter that she was being dramatic and emotional. We, Melinda, my ex and I, got into an argument and to my surprise, my ex-husband was on my side, saying that it was not okay. While arguing, I noticed that my daughter was not there, so I left to check on her. I helped her clean herself and then we left for my house. I tried to cheer her up, but she was still a little sad. Later, her birthday party went well. Her dad came and during the party, I told him that I wanted more custody because of his wife's bullying. That conversation went approximately like this. I said, I want more custody. And he said, what? I know she was mean, but you can't do this to me. Really? Your wife is bullying our daughter. I've told you before and you did not keep your promise. So I'm going for more custody. Blah, blah, blah. I live in California, so in a 50-50 custody arrangement, the parent with the higher income pays child support, which means I pay because I earn more than him. At least, this is what I got. He apologized for their behavior and told me he would fix it, but he asked me not to fight for more custody. OP's edit. Some of you asked questions about my daughter's reaction. My daughter is a really shy and silent kid. Except for me and her dad, she does not talk unless spoken to or if you bring up a subject that she likes. When something upsets her, she just stays silent and cries. It's always been like that, and it is what she did. She started crying and went to her room. Wow, Melinda is some horrid kind of human being. Honestly, you're not gonna make me think differently. She baked that cake and planted the idea on that kid to smash his sister's face in it. She did this crap on purpose. Then she laughed about it and ridiculed your daughter's feelings. And honestly, OP, I absolutely understand you feeling like you wanted to break somebody, but it wouldn't have been the kid for me. It would have definitely have been Melinda. She wouldn't have gotten that one for free. And regarding your husband, he failed. I don't think he should get another chance. From now on, he needs to start working on rebuilding the relationship and trying to regain that 50-50 custody. Here's wishing you the best in court, OP. Thank you for sharing and take care. And now, let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user Confused2024. Am I the a-hole? My husband wants a divorce and wants us to keep the house. My husband, 32, and I, 30, have been married for 10 years. Recently, he told me that he wanted a divorce because he wasn't happy. He came to the conclusion that he never really wanted to be married and wanted to focus on his military career. I had always supported his career. I asked him for couples therapy because all of the problems he said we had were things that could be fixed. But he refused and said our marriage couldn't be fixed. I have no choice but to let him go. However, he believes that he and I can still live in our house and live our separate lives, and he's already dating a girl from work. I cannot do this. When I told him that I wasn't comfortable with him dating yet, he accused me of wanting to prevent him from moving on. I made it clear that if he wishes to date, he can do so, but I will not sit here and watch him do it because it kills me. I told him that I needed to get away from him so that I could heal. I told them that I refused to live in the house while he went off and started a whole new life, somehow maintaining his old one. So, I want to sell the house, and he's accusing me of trying to ruin him financially, especially because our mortgage is so low. I'm currently half a year away from my bachelor's degree, which would allow me to find a steady job, as the job that I currently have now does not pay enough for me to live on my own. However, I have a large support system that is willing to help me. So basically, what I am asking is, am I the a-hole for wanting to move on with my life, even if it means that I have to force him to sell our house? OP, of course you're not the a-hole, and isn't this the consequences of his actions? It's actually so serendipitous that he decided that he was gonna focus on his military career and his marriage was just something that was in the way that he needed to get rid of, but then he started dating somebody from work like really quickly? You know, it just makes you think about life and all these things that are just so random. Like, he couldn't possibly have been cheating, could he? Anyways, all that BS aside, you're fine with this, you're going to move forward and focus on your life. But of course, you don't want to be tied to this a-hole, so you want to sell the house. But now that's going to ruin him financially and you're a bad person? No, OP, he doesn't get it both ways. You're absolutely in the right to force him to sell the house, and if he doesn't like it, he can go suck a lemon. And what is your judgment? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's go check out the community comments. KA Irony says, not the a-hole. By the way, your husband was already cheating on you when he asked for the divorce. The "I never loved you" is a typical line cheaters throw out after the fact. Gather up all your financials, including tax returns, retirement accounts, bank accounts, investment accounts, and take this to a lawyer. Interview several of the top ones in your area. They will tell you what you deserve out of the marriage. What your soon-to-be ex-husband wants is pointless. You have been married for 10 years. He has financially ruined himself by cheating and blowing up your marriage. He will probably owe you a year or two of alimony as well, since it appears you are not the main breadwinner. Green Seat 8152 says, so he is in the military and cheating on you with someone from the office who may also be military? Get yourself a lawyer familiar with military law. If she is military, they both could be in a large amount of trouble. He may not have a military career to worry about. And check into his retirement. Your share is determined by how long you were married while he was in service. Don't sign away any of this, including the home. Get what is due to you. To this, IDKWTFMF says, OP, have you considered he wants to avoid blowing up his career by keeping up a pretense y'all are still together and that's why he wants you to still live with him? And OP responds, he started hanging out with a large group of friends from his unit along with her in that group. I guess it has just turned into something. If it did, so be it. I'll survive without him. But I did find out some of his friends were basically playing wingman for him and that they have an idea that they're a thing. I also know that if his higher-ups find out that he's dating one of the girls in his unit, they will not be happy. And Aardvark Front says, not the a-hole. But why are you even asking this question? Why are you being so damn nice to him about everything? Why are you feeling bad? Was he abusive? Is that why you still think you need to please him by going along with what he wants? F him. He was cheating, obviously. Find a lawyer as soon as possible, and under no circumstances are you to leave the marital home for any reason. Not even for a weekend to clear your head. Do not leave. And OP responds, you are right. I've always been a very logical thinker, but he kind of pulled the rug from under me. Now that the dust is settled, I can see that he's completely delusional. Additional information from OP's comments. We are both pretty busy people. He is with the military and I go to school full-time and work part-time. As a result, we kind of drifted apart. For the past 6 months, I have been trying to spend more time with him and take up more of his interest, but it was already too late for him. He has every right to move on and do what he wants, but he can't nor will he drag me with him. Is any marriage perfect? No, but I do know that I supported him throughout his entire military career, regardless of what he wanted to do. When we first got married and we were broke as crap, I made a home for him where he was taken care of and continued to do so when things got better. I never cheated and I communicated when something was wrong. I did everything I possibly could to help him when he was depressed and unsure of his career. The list goes on. I've done a lot for him and he's done a lot for me. If he doesn't want to be with me, that is fine, but just like how he deserves to move on, so do I. My support system would do anything for me and I'm grateful to have them, but they are currently seeing red, as am I. I don't like to make big decisions based on emotions, but logically, selling this house and getting my fair share is the only option. OP's edit. He told me he wanted this divorce months ago and was building up the courage to ask for the divorce. I know that what he's asking for is delusional, but I guess I feel bad because he gave me a portion of his GI Bill for my schooling, which he's now threatening to take away. That's no big deal because, again, I have a good support system. I am graduating with a science degree and I know I can find a good job with it in my area. He just assumed that since we always got along well, I would go along with this plan. Well, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole and they say sell the house. OP thinks that too, it's the only option. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. Thank you to mostly everyone for being so kind. I have been in contact with a lawyer and all of my bases are covered there. I told him that I was not budging and that our house was going to be sold or he could buy me out. So he has agreed to sell. The interesting part is that the girl he has been seeing was under the impression that I was okay with their arrangement. He basically told her that we were separated but still living together. She now knows the truth and does not want to see him. We met up and compared text messages and stories, and he had been lying to her. Why he thought I couldn't easily just search her up and get in contact with her is beyond me. But I had a feeling that he was lying to her. When it was explained to him that what he did was completely wrong, he became remorseful and apologetic for hurting me. I don't believe him. Either way, this divorce is going to happen and good luck to the next girl that deals with him. I have started therapy to help me adjust, but I know that I am going to be okay. And honestly, I don't want to be with someone willing to hurt me like that. I decided not to alert the military about his affair simply because I was not looking to harm anybody, and if I did that, it would harm her. It's never a good idea to have a relationship with your coworkers, but she isn't at fault for my husband's crappy behavior. That is all for now. Well, OP, it could also be that she's lying to you and she's just ditching him now because she knows that this could also blow up in her face. But your decision's been made. The good thing is that your bases are covered, you're moving forward, and you're going to be okay. So here's wishing you the best in the future, OP. Thank you for sharing and take care. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.